Unit 2. The silly science experiment. Number 1. Adventure. Adventure. An exciting or daring experience. Example. Jack went on an adventure to explore a hidden cave in search of treasure. Number 2. Approach. Approach. To move closer to something or someone. Example. Sarah decided to approach her teacher to ask for help with her homework. Number 3. Carefully doing something with caution and attention. Example. The chef carefully chopped the vegetables to ensure they were evenly sized. Number 4. Chemical. Chemical. A substance made up of different elements. Example. The scientists mixed various chemicals in the lab to create a new solution. Number 5. Create. Create. To make or break something into existence. Example. Emily used colorful paints to create a beautiful picture of sunset. Number 6. Evil. Evil. Something or someone wicked or harmful. Example. The evil witch cast a spell on the princess, turning her into a frog. Number 7. Experiment. Experiment. A test or investigation to learn or discover something. Example. The students conducted a science experiment to see how plants grow in different light conditions. Number 8. Kill. Kill. To cause the death of someone or something. Example. The hunter aimed carefully and shot an arrow to kill the deer for food. 9. Laboratory. Laboratory. A place equipped for scientific experiments and research. Example. The scientists worked in the laboratory, analyzing samples under microscopes. Number 10. Laugh. Laugh. To express joy or amusement with sounds. Example. The children laughed when the clown performed funny tricks at the circus. Number 11. Loud. Loud. A high volume or intensity of sound. Example. The music at the concert was so loud that it made everyone's ears ring. Number 12. Nervous. Nervous. Feeling worried or anxious. Example. John felt nervous before his big presentation in front of the whole class. Number 13. Noise. Noise. A sound, especially one that is loud or unpleasant. Example. The construction site was filled with the noise of drills and machinery. Number 14. Project. Project. A task or assignment that requires planning and effort. Example. The students worked together on a group project to build a model of solar system. Number 15. Scare. Scare. To cause fear or frighten someone. Example. The sudden loud thunderclap scared the little girl, and she hid under the blanket. Number 16. Secret. Secret. Something hidden or not known by others. Example. The children whispered to each other, sharing a secret about a surprise party. Number 17. Shout. Shout. To speak or call out loudly. Example. The coach shouted instructions to the players during the soccer match. Number 18. Smell. Smell. The sense of detecting scents or odors. Example. The freshly baked cookies filled the kitchen with a delightful smell. Number 19. Terrible. Terrible. Very bad or unpleasant. Example. The storm caused terrible damage to houses and knocked down trees. Number 20. Worse. Worse. of poorer quality or a more negative state than before. Example: Jane's cold got worse and she developed a high fever. This silly science experiment. Once upon a time, in a little town called Funville, there was a playful scientist named Professor Giggle. Professor Giggle loved to create new things in his small laboratory. One day, he decided to conduct a chemical experiment that would make everyone laugh uncontrollably. Approaching the project carefully, Professor Giggle mixed colorful potions and added a secret ingredient to his concoction. The room filled with a peculiar smell, making him even more excited. However, his mischievous pet, Funny the cat, jumped on the table, causing a terrible noise that startled the professor. Startled by the noise, Professor Giggle accidentally spilled some chemicals into the mixture. Suddenly, the potion started bubbling and growing. The room filled with a loud shout as the potion started to overflow. Feeling nervous about what would happen next, Professor Giggle grabbed a broom and tried to kill the overflow of bubbles. But it only made things worse. The bubbles started to take shape, forming mischievous creatures that began to scare everyone in the laboratory. Realizing the evil effects of his experiment, Professor Giggle desperately searched for a solution. Suddenly, he remembered a special project he worked on before, a tickle feather that could make anyone laugh. Hastily grabbing the tickle feather, Professor Giggle approached the mischievous creatures. With a mischievous grin, he tickled them one by one. The creatures couldn't resist and burst into fits of uncontrollable laughter. They transformed into harmless, giggling beings. The laboratory was filled with laughter, and the mischievous creatures became Professor Giggle's little helpers. They worked together, creating funny inventions and spreading laughter all around Funville. From that day on, Professor Giggle's laboratory became known as the Silly Science Lab. People would come from all over to witness the adventure of laughter and creativity. And Professor Giggle, with his tickle feather in hand, continued to create joy and happiness for everyone. Now let's move on to the questions about the story. Number 1. What was the name of the mischievous scientist in the story? Number 2. What happened when Funny the cat jumped on the table? Number 3. How did Professor Giggle stop the mischievous creatures from scaring everyone?